views that life isn't black and white. We have shades and colors. Some things with music lift our souls, tell a story that our lives wouldn't tell, crushing hopes of things that you give us an escape through the beauty that you put around us and the talent that you place inside the people around us. We're grateful for our attention to you now. Thank you, God, for this time that we have set aside to look inside ourselves, look around us, and to grow and to stretch. Pray, God, that you would open our hearts to receive you in Jesus' name. This is good. It's nice to have you. Danny's going to be in a minute. I want to hear about integrity. So while I'm stalling for the next 5 minutes, I say stalling, but hopefully I'll be in the midst of stall. You can pull out your integrity assignments. I want to grab them, and I'll read through them, so don't feel like you need to give me a report on what you wrote. I want to hear what you wrote, but in a minute I want to find out what you learned. And it's okay for you to share what you wrote, but you don't have to feel like you're reading it or whatever. I just want to hear what you wrote about integrity, what you learned about your own integrity, or lack thereof from the book. I want to hear about it. But before I do that, let me read you a verse. Half of the verse. Numbers chapter 9, verse 15, only verse 15a, says, on the day the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant law, was set up, the cloud covered it. On the day the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant law, was set up, the cloud covered it. You should have sang this as if there's a cloud. Nobody said that we were in alignment with the spirit. Clearly, you and I have on the day the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant law, was set up, the cloud covered it. Why is that important? It's important because on every other day, I don't remember off the top of my head, so you know how many days it took to receive the instructions, to get it all organized, to get the materials purchased, and transported. And we're not talking about putting it on a truck from Lowe's. We're talking about cutting it down in forests of Lebanon and water floating the logs down the river and manually transporting them over, roller systems with hundreds and hundreds of people, responsible slaves, probably responsible for that. Who knows how many people lost their lives trying to get the timber from the forests of Lebanon to get the temple system built, right? So it says on the day the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant law, was set up, cloud covered it. But on every other day that isn't mentioned in that little verse, where they were working and cutting their hands and stubbing their toes and messing up the designs and having to redo it. And how many of you ever done manual labor stuff? You ever work on something? Could be putting something together you got from IKEA, you're calling that manual labor. Just as a correction, that's manual labor. It's inevitable the moment you grab a toolbox or a tool notebook, as my brother-in-law has, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to have to start over again. So these are professionals, but part of building something is doing it wrong and having to do it again, or building it at a level where you didn't know you didn't know that the acacia wood was going to warp in the sunlight and it's hot in the desert. Left it sitting out there too long, and you cut it down early. You got stalled out with the bronze because Bezalel was hung over from the night before or whatever. So you got all these issues that come up when you're building something. But what's not mentioned in Numbers chapter 9, verse 15a is all the other days. And so just as a perspective when you read the Bible, I wanted to teach you this. If you haven't discovered it yet, discover it today and then read your Bible with this lens from now on. And it'll open up a world of insight that will really encourage you in your daily life, but also a world of insight that will on the day. So there's the moment. The moment the Bible says on the day, you have to remember that the Bible, just like your life and mine, is not a snapshot. It's not a still, not a digital image, right? It's a movie. And on the day means on one of the days, always, because there's a process. And so when I meet with you guys in a one-on-one, hopefully I've met with all of you except 3. Hopefully I said something in our one-on-one where I help you see that I'm not treating you like a static person. I'm trying to approach your life the way that I want people to approach mine, which is there's a story. And I'm joining you in the midst of a story that's in many cases been told for many, many years now. Some of you are younger than others, but even the youngest of you has been alive for quite some time. And your experiences today are all colored and filtered by what happened yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. And some of what causes you to be extremely talented and effective today isn't because we're so awesome as a church, but it's because you aren't with you. And some of what's holding you back isn't because you're broken or that's what's wrong with you, it's because you've got bad habits. And habits take time to produce. And so when I read that verse, I wrote in the margins of my Bible the whole time they gave and worked, because this was expensive. It's not like, hey, just build me a couple little things. It was like, we're going to all give. This isn't counting any of the sacrifices that happened once the tent was set up. Just to build the tent, there were like, let's just make up some numbers. Let's say 6,000 goat skins, ram skins, cow hides, and where'd that come from? In that day and age, your livestock was your wealth. So if you're going out and killing a sheep, even if you eat the meat, that wool, that skin, that would have been your own personal house. So it's like, well, I need shingles on my roof, but since we're building the temple system, I'll go ahead and give you my shingles, and my shingles, I'll live in the right? That's what's happening in this community on all the days that are not mentioned in that particular half of the verse. There's a lot going on. So we approach Numbers chapter 9, verse 15a, and what we're not careful, what we assume is, or what we read into the verse is that it's just a snapshot. What we miss out on if we do it that way, and the process that got people to that day was a difficult, arduous, and expensive process. And they sacrificed a lot to get to that day. What was interesting to me, what I finished writing in my margin, was the whole time they gave and worked, there was no proof. No proof. So Moses, the man of God, went up on a mountain. Remember this? And while he was up on the mountain, they were giving their gold earrings to make a golden calf. And God says, you better go down and deal with your people. And Moses is like, my people. And they had this little situation, and they go down and he makes them all sick by burning the calf and putting it in the water. It wouldn't apply that necessarily in Rock Hill, but worked for Moses. And so that's the story. These people, at this point, have no proof at all that what they're doing, what they're sacrificing for, what they're working so hard to accomplish has any value. They've just trusted Moses and the scary cloud that was on the mountain. That's it. They have no proof. They have no proof that their investment of time and energy is going to pay off in the end. And then it says in Numbers chapter 9, verse 15a, you got to live this like it was you. Let's say it was a year, 2 years. We don't know how long. They were in the desert for 40 years. So what percentage of the time were they building the tent? We don't know. But let's say, I don't know, maybe find out, but let's say it's 2 years. So 2 years, they're gathering supplies, working, and investing in building this tent system. No proof at all. This day, Numbers chapter 9, verse 15a, it says, on the day the tabernacle, the tent of the covenant law, was set up, covenant. And now all of a sudden, after all the effort, they get the proof. And now they see in hindsight that all of it was worth it, right? And that Moses, after all, is in fact trustworthy. You with me? So what I'm trying to say is you're never going to know when you're in the process that your effort is worth it. You're just not going to know. It's not the way that it's set up. Sometimes you will, but if you do know, then you're motivated by what you know is going to be the result. And the moment isn't going to be meaningful. If you know that what you're doing is going to have the impact, then you're not really excited when it happens. You're kind of entitled when it happens, because that's what was supposed to happen. You see what I'm saying? Right. So the moments that you and I love, that we love to tell stories about, that we love to live, that we love to cherish, are the ones that we don't know when we're going. And so I hope that encourages you, because y'all are in the days before Numbers 9, 15a, where you're making the investment, you're enduring the conversations, you're carrying the weight, and you're kind of working your fingers to the phone, and probably making some mistakes in the setup, the wrong screws in the base of that IKEA cabinet, and now you're all the way through. You have to take it all apart. You need those screws for later for the step, right? So you're in that phase, but it's not going to be worth it to you until you get it all set up and turn the TV on and relax on your couch. Exactly what I saw, right? It's not going to be worth it yet. And so if you're waiting for it to be worth it, then you're probably not filtering with the right perspective. I think that what you need to do is be okay with the tension in the season, and know that there is a day coming where cloud covers it, and you're like, oh, that's what that all is for. Make sense? Yeah. So anyway, if y'all keep singing, y'all keep teaching. That was a little bit more than 5 minutes. That was good. Tell me about integrity.
I like the concept about the wake of leadership. I think that's part of it. After I read that, felt like I was ruined for the rest of the book. Like I couldn't like get anything else really, because it just kept sticking in my mind. And Benjamin and I were talking to Chad yesterday, and we were asking him about like what he liked about the book, and he said the wake as well. And we were just asking him like practically how does he, live that out. And he said something that kind of stuck with me. He said, "I'm now aware of the wake that I create, and I'm aware of the way that I get the opportunity to tell people what my wake looks like." So I think, for me, I've had a lot of leaders that they would ask the tough questions because they want to be a good leader, but when you would give them the real answers, they didn't really want to hear it, and so no change would be made. So I think for me, after the book and after the conversation yesterday, I think I'm more aware now of the wake that I carry, that I create, and the cool part for me is that I get to create what that looks like. Yeah. And I don't have to be this destructive force, but it can actually be this something that pulls people in. Yeah. And have the ability to create the wake, and then give people the opportunity to be real with me about what it looks like. Yeah. And know that it's a safe place where I can take critique and stuff like that to shape that a little bit better.
Let's change the idea. What you were really saying is you want to control the weight that you're producing. Yeah. So instead of saying I'm now aware, Jack told you I'm now aware of the weight that I eat. What you really want to say is we want to make the weight we want. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And I had to come up with something that was going to be somewhat catchy. Yeah. Don't observe it. Don't look back and say, oh crap, and then do something different. Make the way you want. What does that look like? It means when you're having a conversation with somebody, some of you feel angst right now about, boy, I wish I was pastoral. Well, what is pastoral? What does that mean? Pastoral is somebody who cares more about others than they do about themselves. So the analogy the Bible uses is a shepherd and sheep. So a shepherd who cares more about the shepherd eats it. Right. But if you're responsible to keep the sheep healthy and alive and thriving and growing, well then you're focused more on the sheep than you are on yourself. Yeah. And so the Bible says God is like a great shepherd who goes and finds a lamb that was lost and brings it back. Right? So that's us. We're making the wake. Pastoral is setting up a conversation with somebody to dig for the thing that will help them grow. Right? So that's what you have to be proactive about that. You can't look back at all the conversations you've had over the last 6 weeks and think, oh, am I pastoral or not? But maybe not. But if you leave it up to circumstances to decide, then it's going to take you a long time. You don't have that much time to make the wake. So when you're talking to somebody, you know how when you're interacting with somebody, you kind of get the sense, oh, wait a minute, you really want to talk about that, right? Yeah. You're like, oh man, it's been a rough day. Most of us are like, awesome. Mine's been great. And that's what we do. Well, if you want to be pastoral, make it right. Say, tell me about it. And now you're in. Right? And just trust that God will give you what you need in the moment to deal with it. That's really exciting. Yeah. One more. Actually, I saw Jordan walk in, so I was feeling rushed.
No need to be rushed.
We have another 12 minutes. So,
Towards the end of the book, it talks about taking chances, taking risks. Using the analogy of if you want to learn how to skydive, you have to jump. Yeah. And for me, I took it as like getting rid of the labels that I've incorrectly labeled myself as. I've always labeled myself as someone who can't do technology because I've never really done it. I've never really been comfortable like in that environment. And now God has placed me in production. So I need to jump out of the plane if I want to learn how to skydive, so to speak. So I don't know, just doing something instead of sitting back and saying, oh, I can't do that. There's no way I can do that. That's not me. I'm not bothered. I'm like, well, because I've never gone out of myself and done it. So
isn't it interesting? I hope this doesn't embarrass you. I don't really care, but isn't it interesting that had you pursued a position of worship, you wouldn't have been able to, you wouldn't have gotten it because we don't have a worship program for musicians, right? But having pursued something that you feel less comfortable in, and having to deal with the tension of learning to jump out of a plane, you were playing drums as much as isn't it interesting? I just think about how God's economy is just not, you know, made out of engines that we want to be. It's not easy to navigate. And we fight for the things we want, fight for it, until we finally give up, and then he gives it to us.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I wanted this for 3 years. But it's like, because you wanted it, not me. Right? And once you are okay with just me, well, then I'll give it to you as well. So I see first God and my righteousness and all these things he adds to you as well. Well, what does that mean? It means don't seek God so that you can get the things. It means when you finally resign yourself to seek God, you won't care about the things, and they're probably going to come, but it won't matter as much because you have all that you need. Amen. I didn't even make an example, but when you were saying that, I was like, that's awesome. Your job right now is to be okay with what you've been given, to learn how to jump, you know, and to become an amazing producer. That's your job. But along the way, I just think you'll be surprised to see how God's going to use you in other ways as well, and nothing is wasted, right? Because God doesn't see us like God doesn't see us like snapshots. He understands we have stories. And he's not going to leave anything on the vine that he can apply to use. And he's also going to prune off the things that are not necessary. And sometimes he needs you to play drums on February 12th. But if you pursue the opportunity to play drums on February 12th, you wouldn't be in a position to right? So he's got to cut some stuff off and get you to take a detour. And it's like, things right where you, that's perfect. Right where I need to be. Go through the clothes and watch his shoulders. I already got this all worked out. So it's it. Well, it's beautiful. What else?
I was very encouraged to see when he was talking about how it is taking a risk in gambling. And he was saying that a lot of times with this, you've already grown in a certain way, and now you're ready to take a step. And there's an uncertainty and a possibility of falling. You might be a young child who begins to walk. And it's like, they should have tried that when they weren't ready for that. And yes, there's a possibility of falling, but there's strengthening out.
Have you got a category of anything in your life? Now, that doesn't matter what. This is going to be a hard question to answer. But have you got a category where you can think of at one point in your life, you were super scared to do it, but now it's almost like second nature? Think of something.
I think it's not super deep, but with driving, I actually started driving pretty late. So my parents were walking and they didn't put in insurance. So when I first got a car that I could drive on my own, I was 21 years old. And so it's pretty scary. So I'm like grown, but I can't drive at all. So kind of working through that and making a lot of mistakes. But now, I mean, I'm great at it.
funny, that was the first thing that came to mind. What you said? Driving was the first one I thought of. I actually thought of the moment where I realized I was in way over my head. I was coming down 13, Highway 13. There was this big hill that ended up in a huge turn at the bottom. And I was totally fine, but my dad was the one who was letting me know there's something wrong. And without realizing it, I'd gone from like 55 to 70 in like, a quarter mile down this hill because I was just driving along. And he was like, so you should, at this point, you should be considering brakes. So your brake is the one that's in the middle. Your brakes. Your rotation, and I got to the bottom, and I was just like, how long for your life? And it was one of those moments where like I didn't even know to be scared. I didn't understand enough about what was going on in the context to even know to be scared. And after that, I struggled with all sorts of insecurity every time I got on the wheel, because I got my hand slapped in that little curve at the bottom of the hill. And it's funny, driving is a good one. But I brought that up to say, you're not worried about driving now. Well, watch cars is scary. Not as scary as the cheese. Because you're like, either the wheels are going to fall off completely. I'm on the highway, or it's going to explode. Or I'll get there safely. It's kind of like, people choose. But I say that to say it's helpful sometimes, I think, for us to think about, well, what have I already mastered? Because when you're in the process of trying to master something new, we have a tendency to revert back to what it felt like when we were 15 trying to learn how to drive, or in my case, 17 or worse, 25. And we revert back and we're like, I feel so insecure, I don't think I'm going to be able to figure it out. And we feel all of that same fear every time. But I think what happens over time is you get used to the feeling of risk. I think you get used to the feeling of failure. I think you get used to the feeling of insecurity. I think you get used to the feeling of rejection. I think you get used to these feelings. And over time, they don't have to hit you quite as profoundly as they did when you were 20s, 30s. Right? I think so.
Yeah.
And so, when I talk to you, I've told this to several of you, that at this point in my life, I'm not quite as settled on things have to be black and white. I'm just okay with mess. I'm okay with gray. That's what I'm talking about. I've failed enough times before. I've felt stressed and overwhelmed by something new before. So I'll still feel the same feeling, but it's much more easy for me at this point in my life to just say, it's going to be good. I'm going to get through this. It's going to be just fine. You get settled. And I don't think you're ever, if you're doing it right, I don't think you're ever going to avoid new stuff that's going to be hard to learn. And so integrity really comes back to the ability to kind of just take it in stride, right? And be like, here we make it very practical from a campus leadership standpoint. I can make a portion of production too, with campus leadership is what popped in my mind. But campus leadership standpoint, you are going to have this is true, Danny, you are going to have a very confrontational and frustrating conversation with somebody who is extremely angry in the lobby. It is going to happen. If it has not happened yet, the first time it happens, you're going to be like, and you're going to treat every other person you interact with that day like they were the culprit. And you're going to have it all over your face, and you're going to be mad on Tuesday when you're talking to the staff, and it's just going to hit you real hard. And then the next time it happens, you're going to be a little bit calmer. And the next time it happens, you'll be a little bit calmer. And eventually you're going to be kind of like, so I had 5 years into being a campus pastor, we had one guy came out and he was just steaming mad. And we had, our ushers had not allowed his daughter to come back in and sit in worship speeches on the 4th row. And, granted, that policy was a little bit stiff, especially if you're a video location. And it's like, what exactly are we protecting? Exactly. So I believe in it. I enforce it, and you need to as well. But it is, if you think about it from a guest perspective, it's like, wait a minute, I'm watching the movie, and I'm in the dark, and you're telling me my daughter can't come sit with me? I don't get it. And so it's hard to explain and we reinforced it, but it's hard to explain. So he was hot, literally. And he comes up and red in the face, finger like right here, just spitting everywhere, and was so irate. Probably one of top 5 most angry people I've interacted with on the weekends. And I stood there, and I'm seasoned now. I have 5 years under my belt as a Kansas Pass driver. You're not catching me up. So I'm seasoned. He's yelling at me, and I'm feeling all the same things we would feel inside. But I waited about 45 seconds, 50 seconds before he took a breath. The moment he took a breath, I said, "Man, thank you." He was like, thank you. And I feel like he thought like maybe there was 5 bodyguards right behind him. He was about to get taken down. He had a look on his face like, and no, I said, and he said, "Thank you for what?" And I said, "For not punching me." And he goes, "What was my dad?" I was like, kind of was. I was upset. I was like, "Hey, didn't you tell me that?" I picked up on that. And he softened up a little bit. He was still basically softened up a little bit. And then he told me about his daughter, and I was like, "That sounds like we didn't do that real well. Sorry about that." I said, "No, obviously, that is something that we try to reinforce because I think about the other 800 people in the room as well. And as much as I know this was a terrible experience for you, it probably was a better experience for everybody else because the door wasn't opening up and closing. And people weren't walking around the whole time, and that allowed them to focus. And I have to think about the bigger picture. I understand that with my daughter and this and that, whatever. And I think his name was Bill or something. I was like, "Well, Bill, thank you for telling me." I said, "I'm going to talk to the ushers, and maybe there's some way that we can make this better for everybody. But I said, just know that's going to be a common experience when you come back to our church. That's the way that we do it. We want to try to make the best experience for everybody." Well, start out. Next week he comes back. He was like, "Hey, Pastor John." "What's up, Bill? How are you?" And then the next week he comes back. Same thing. Next week he comes back. I see him all the way down to the end of what used to be all the classrooms now. And he was praying with a group of people. And it was like our usher leader at the time and a couple different people. I didn't think about that with our usher leader. It's funny. But it was some key volunteers from the campus that had all the way down the end of the hallway. They're praying over him. So I walked down. I was like, "That's Bill. I don't know what's going on down there, but it could be empty." So I walked down and he had admitted to somebody like 3 or 4 weeks time that his wife had left him the week before he arrived for the first time, and that he was struggling with it, trying to figure out what to do. So they were like, "Well, let's pray." So they dragged him down the end of the hallway, and they were praying with him and trying to encourage him. And I walked up and I was like, "What's going on?" They told me the story, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." Turns out it really had nothing to do with the ushers, did it? It had everything to do with his life was in turmoil. And had I been John from 2008, I would have missed the opportunity to join him in the story that God was telling with his life. But what we become with integrity over time is seasoned.
Yeah.
And as we're seasoned, we're able to navigate those kind of things. We understand, hey man, I know what it's like. I've been a jackass before myself. So I'm going to extend you a little bit of grace right now, and I'm going to try to find a way to do it in my personality. But ultimately, my job is to break through and help. Right? It's a good book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not as good as what I just did. You have a great picture of the other half of the Hicks power couple. And Danny and Jordan are one of those, as individuals, you'd be like, "Yes, I'd like 3, please." And then you put them together, and I don't know how we got so blessed to have them here. Danny is one of our strongest leaders. Really excited about the work that she's doing. She's like, last time she was like, what am I supposed to teach? I was like, "I don't actually really care what you teach, Danny. I just need you to be in there." So come in and do something awesome. And she did. But you guys taught together last time, right?
We did.
They did such a great job. I was like, "No, we're going to get a double dose." So what was Jordan doing in here earlier?
He was gonna come by, but then he had to go to a meeting. Bailed.
He thought you were teaching.
He said he wanted to come in for a few minutes. He's so sweet.
You don't want to look at me. So Danny's going to do an incredible job. I'm going to step out for a minute to go work on a spreadsheet with Roxy.
Yeah, spreadsheet.
It's going to ultimately change your life. And when I come back, you guys will be crying and laughing. They have you broken into the headache that you have to get to the heart. Jesus, we just thank you so much for this time again. Thank you for Danny, and experience and having navigated the kind of integrity that we were just talking about to bring her to this place. And there are so many things that she just does because of who we made her to be and because of what she's experienced that for this group would be absolute gold. So I pray that you would ease her mind, give her confidence to just speak freely, and that this group would be attentive and open. God, I know that you're going to do tremendous work right now, and we're going to take major steps forward.
Amen. How you guys doing? I believe that the way that we carry out guest experience is one of the reasons that God blessed our church. Not because it's this list of systems and processes and executing, but it's really the way that we care for people. That's what we're doing is extending love. And so today I would invite you to look beyond the systems and not see a set of rules or process that you need to abide by, but really like use your brain and think about how do we love people through things. And we're going to talk about vision up front for quite a bit. I want to share a couple stories with you. I'm passionate about the experience that our guests have because that's a big part of my story when I started coming to church, is what brought me in and being welcomed and loved and honored. And I want to give you some context about sort of my path here to Elevation. So let me tell you this. I grew up always being a little bit extra, would probably be the right word, right? So I found myself as a kid, I was always reading, researching. I was a little OCD growing up, even like elementary and middle school. And I always was very rigid and methodical about things. And always seemed to sort of isolate myself amongst my peers. Like, she tries too hard, too enthusiastic, whatever. That carried me through high school and even into college and into my early professional life. I found myself being the person that was always pushing my peers, the one that was a pain in the neck often to people that I worked with. Back then, my methods weren't so refined, but even working in medical sales when I got out of college, I was the sales rep who was like going to engineers and saying, "Hey, this isn't right. We need to start over." And even though my methods were poor back then, it was like God was inspiring excellence in me, and then that would prepare me for my walk here at the church. And I heard about Elevation. I was selling medical devices. I lived in Central Florida, and I heard about this amazing church. And I started listening to sermons. And a lot of y'all have the same story, so you know. I was like, there's something so different about what's happening there. And I flew up to visit for the first time. I came for the greater event. I think Pastor mentioned this in staff rally a couple weeks ago. This was basically, never done anything like this again. It was like, I think you paid like $100. You came for the day. You listened to Pastor teach at Blakeney. And essentially what he did is he taught about the culture of our church for like 7 hours or something in different sessions. And I was a volunteer at church at the time. I think a lot of people there were staff and people had come to hear about it. And when I heard him describing aspects of our culture, it was like something lit up inside me. You ever feel that sense where it's something that you had felt, but you had never been able to articulate in that way? But it's like somebody's talking about it, and you're like, yes, that. The way that he talked about our intention with detail, that everything had a purpose behind it. The way that we didn't cater to people that were a part of the church, we weren't concerned with preference, but we were concerned with who we were going to reach. It was like as he spoke more and more, I thought, oh my goodness, I need to be a part of this. And I hadn't had like dreams of being in ministry really. In my job, I loved what I did. I was successful. I worked for a long time to get to the place I was. And so I didn't come looking for a job, but hearing Pastor talk about it, I was like, crap, I've got to get there. Like, I've got to figure out how to be a part of this team. So I remember I ran into LB in the lobby afterwards. And y'all know how LB will do. I walked out, and he kind of made eye contact. And he's like, how was it? I was like, man, that was awesome. And he's like, what was awesome about it? I was like, I miss this guy. I don't know. I don't remember what I said. I said something. And we started talking. And I said something that I thought was probably pretty abnormal and outrageous. I was like, man, I really feel like I'm supposed to be a part of this church. I feel like I'm supposed to move there. And I thought that was pretty novel. He's like, yeah, a lot of people say that. Like, you should do it. And I was like, this dude's crazy. I can't just move here without a job. And he's like, yeah, a lot of people make that decision. If you feel like you're supposed to be part of this, I'd say you just need to commit and come here. Granted, this is the first time I've been to our church, right? I went back to Florida and I thought about it. And I started realizing that I was pretty opportunistic in my life because I didn't really take a jump if something wasn't already worked out ahead of time. So my style was not, let me move there and figure things out. It was, let me work out an opportunity. Who do I need to talk to get there? Let me work it out and then let me go once there's already provision ahead of me. And so this was big in my life because I went back and decided, hey, I'm going to go there no matter what. Mind you, this is before 2K2 or Prodigy even existed. Didn't have anything then. And so my brilliant plan was I was going to quit my job. The whole family freaked out, by the way. I was going to quit my job and work at Starbucks so that I could get insurance long enough to be able to volunteer at our church. That's how passionate I was about just getting to be here. And I know a lot of you have that same dialogue and that same discussion in your family. And so I made the decision, talked to my boss at the time. I broke my lease at my apartment. This is probably, I think Greater was in September. This was in like October. And then I happened to go on our website and Prodigy posted online. Mind you, it wasn't until though I had made the decision to come. It was like God needed me to make the decision, not based on an opportunity, but based on my commitment to be obedient to Him. And so I applied for Prodigy thinking that there's no way, like, why would they accept me? Again, I was volunteering at a church, but in my mind, looking from afar, I'm like, there's no way that would ever be good enough to get to be a part of that, which is true, right? And for whatever reason, God blessed me and said, hey, I'm going to give you this chance to come here. So I think Swed was who called me. Within like 60 days, basically, I had turned around and had begun here at Prodigy in Charlotte. So I moved here. I was single at the time. All my family lived in Florida. And I began this journey of getting to be a part of the thing that from afar I really dreamed about. And that's so real in the beginning that if you're not careful, you can start to lose that. I think even in the program, amidst all the distraction and all the pressure, you can start to forget that this is the thing that you prayed for. And amidst the tasks and the stuff that you have to get done. And so for me, like I've continued to look back at those moments. Even interestingly enough, starting my work here at Blakeney, getting to look back at that fifth row where I sat in Blakeney and heard Pastor talk about the culture of our church. And often in the sort of the grind of being at Blakeney, I was there for 3 years. I would look at that row often, and when I get frustrated or I get distracted, and be like, yeah, I remember sitting there and asking God for this. And so that's why I need to stay committed to this and not be discouraged. And so my journey here for Prodigy, I was in my first class, so it was like me, JJ, Matthew, Drew, Dustin, Scott, that crew back then. And we were kind of trying to figure things out as we went. It was interesting in those days. And my first rotation, I was at Providence, which was awesome. And then the second rotation was at Blakeney, and then I came on staff at Blakeney. So I've only really been at Providence for 3 months, Blakeney, and then Valentine. So I'm a little brainwashed for being at the broadcast campus too. Hi, honey. So essentially what I've done then through that time, I've mentioned about taking those moments to look back. So for me at Blakeney, there were times when I'd stand on the landing, was frustrated at what the ushers were doing or whatever the situation was. And I would think back and say, okay, God, I begged you for this. I asked you for this. So how do I stay motivated and encouraged and connected to the vision? And my husband just walked in, so I think about it's the same thing as in a marriage, right? That there's moments, very few moments, honey. There's moments when you look at each other and you're like, what did I get myself into? What did I do? But then you have to remember, right? I prayed for this man. I prayed for this one. This is who I asked God for. So long story short, I was working at Blakeney. I met Jordan about a year into being here at the church. I've been for 4 years as of January. And I think Jordan probably told you the story, but did you, Jordan?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Not like super great detail.
We would have had free chicken for life, but we missed out on that. Yeah, we got together. He came on staff, I think, the month before we got married, and so we both.
Month after we got
I'm
engaged.
sorry. Yes, he came again.
Oh, 2K2. Sorry.
He came on staff the month before we got married, so we were leading alongside each other as we at Blakeney, which was incredible. So this whole journey for me, though, really, I feel like I'm still a kid a little bit. Like I still very easily can look back. I still have those moments of gratefulness. And I think that's what's most important when it comes to making sure that we're maintaining this experience for our guests, is that we're still able to picture ourselves in that season where we're like a little bit of glimmer in the eye and looking at things and how does it work, and I can't believe that we do things this way and this way. And so just to challenge you today to take those moments to really look back. You're what, 4 weeks in?
Yeah.
3 weeks in? 4. So y'all are probably still golden right now. But there will come a time where you'll have to say, man, remember when I prayed? Remember when I submitted my application and I called that person to have them pray for me because I was nervous? Or hey, remember when I was like sitting on the application for 4 months because I was like, those stories, that's what you have to look back on to see the faithfulness of God. So today what we're going to talk about, my goal is not to have you guys be able to execute guest experience
screen as well. And we're gonna get a little bit of details in, but we're not just gonna like walk through useless information that you may forget because it's too much in one sitting. What I want us to do is talk about the vision, and then a lot of this you'll learn at your campus too, but we wanna talk about the why of why we do things, so that you're able to connect to the reason and not just the process. And I want you to leave here today and be able to think like a campus pastor. So this isn't like, hey, I'm guest experience director, I'm gonna make sure this happens, or usher's letting people in, is there an empty seat? No. It's thinking like a campus pastor, being able to make decisions for your location and holistically seeing the experience of your campus, okay? So it's not just monitoring details or execution, it's being able to sit right in the unseen. What is the culture of my location? And so for a lot of you today, you'll sort of be like assessing where you're at now, the location that you're at. You may compare it to where you were before. Raise your hand if you were at an Elevation campus before 2K2. Okay, so a lot of people. Raise your hand if you were not. So like half and half, right? That's perfect. Okay, so for some of you, some of this may be review, or some of you may go, I don't know that's how we do that, or you may disagree with me on something. Let's talk if you do. For the rest of you that may not have had exposure, and all of us just listen with the filter of seeing it, okay, what location am I at now? How does that apply? What's different? And then how can it be better too? So I don't want you to hear this and go, that's the way it is, that's how it is forever. No, use your brain, right, and say, okay, so great, if I'm a campus pastor location, I launch tomorrow somewhere, what would I do differently? How can I enrich that and make it better? I want to start, this is a little unorthodox, but I want you guys to watch this video. Last weekend, Jordan and I went to DC. Who has ever been to the Arlington National Cemetery? Most people? Ooh, okay. So there's the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and they'll kind of talk about it in the video real quick. It's 10 minutes, so I need you guys to like dial in and watch this. But essentially, there are Army soldiers that guard this tomb 24/7. They've done it since I think like 1937 or something. And Jordan and I went to visit it this weekend. We were celebrating our anniversary birthday, and I was mesmerized. I'd never been before, and seeing this soldier like march back and forth and all the process and detail that's involved with it, all I could think about was the culture of our church. Like I'm watching it, I'm typing down notes. We sat there for probably an hour, and I just stared. So I want you guys to see a little bit behind the scenes and check this out, and then we're gonna talk afterwards. Cool? Okay, get out of the way.
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is a monument dedicated to servicemen who gave everything in defense of our country. Located in Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia, and attracting millions of visitors each year, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier stands proudly protected by tomb sentinels. The soldiers of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, took over the right to guard the tomb in April of 1948 and continue to carry on this sacred duty. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier has been guarded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the past 77 years. But what exactly does it take to be a sentinel? Selfless service, training, time, and ultimately perfection. And it all starts with volunteering.
Basically, all soldiers are selected on a volunteer basis. Nobody's forced to come down here. We take them only if they're volunteering. That way we know we're getting a soldier who really wants to be down here. So we put soldiers through 2 different types of training. It can either be a 2-week TDY class, as we call it, or it could be a 30-day TDY class.
The TDY cycle is to get prospective guards to learn the basics of uniform, rifle manual, marching, and memorization of history and facts, each of which is completely unique to the Sentinels. All the candidates' uniforms are torn apart and rebuilt from the ground up in order to achieve their standard of perfection.
Everything we do down here is for the soldiers that are on the plaza that gave up everything, gave up their life, gave up their identity. Exactly what we try to perfect our performance, our uniforms, and everything to hold it to the highest standard.
Take pride in your uniforms. You putting time, putting work into your uniforms, getting them good, is just the same as you doing well outside, because it's honoring the unknowns. So every coat of polish I put on my shoes Every time I shine my windows and boogers, that's for them.
At the end of the TDY cycle, candidates are tested on their uniform, outside performance, rifle manual, and reciting 7 pages of knowledge verbatim. On average, about 60% of candidates will not graduate the TDY cycle. Successful candidates are counseled, assigned to a relief, issued Tomb Guard uniforms, and dubbed Newmen. Newmen assist the reliefs in preparing sentinels prior to guard changes, work on building and maintaining uniforms, and are given more knowledge to study. They're constantly evaluated and endure 3 more tests before earning the privilege to take the Guard Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Identification Badge Test and receive the distinction of being called a Sentinel. On average, the entire process takes 6 to 9 months with an overall attrition rate of 90% and proves why the Tomb Guard badge is the second least awarded identification badge in the United States Army, only second to the Army Astronaut Badge.
Okay, so the first thing I'm tested on, and that's what you saw in the morning, was the uniform testing. Down the line, it tests overall appearance, meaning posture, how you look. And then it goes from overall appearance to measurements, to how your blouse looks, to whether or not it's been sewn correctly, whether or not it's been pressed correctly. Just making sure you know how to do the uniforms yourself and making sure it's to the standard, which is to perfection. If it's not to the standard of perfection, then it gets kicked. You're only allowed 2 deficiencies. That's the first part of the test. The second part of the test that kind of lasts throughout the day is the outside performance test. Gigs on outside performance would be such things like posture, again, whether or not you're staying in cadence or the rhythm of the person changing you out, your rifle angles, basically anything that can go wrong, they can give you on. They could even give you on uniforms outside. The third thing that I'll be tested on is the brief. And basically what you're doing there is you're showing the sergeant of the guard that you know how to brief visitors coming in. He's got to know that we can hold our own and prove that we know about the tomb. And that's where that 17 pages of knowledge that we had to memorize come into play.
On top of the constant evaluations and maintaining the standard of perfection, the Tomb Guards and Sentinels have a work ethic all their own.
We work on a 9-day work schedule. Basically, the first 5 days, we're on work and then off work, basically working 3 days. 26 hours on, 22 hours off, basically, is what it comes down to.
We wanted to speak to Sentinel Johnston more, but duty to his mission took precedence and he had to get ready for his guard shift.
Yeah, I didn't get ready.
All right, that's fine.
Sorry.
With only 4 minutes before he had to walk out the door.
Alright, Johnson, I'm not sure. Provide, sorry. And move off. Have a good change. I'll see you in special one. I'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Sergeant Lee of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army. Guard of Honor, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. Before you win the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and steady. Hands on your orders. That's order. Remain as directed. Order. As no. Ready. Thanks. Reset.
If a Toon Card passes their badge test, their hard work, dedication to perfection, selfless service, and tireless efforts accumulate in a badge ceremony with members of the regiment, friends, and family. But for the Sentinels, the prize is not another piece to add to their uniform. It is about honoring those that gave their all.
When you first get down here, the goal is never supposed to be about the badge. I think I can speak for every single Sentinel here. We would do our job just as hard, just as well, if this badge never existed. If you really know what you're doing, you're guarding the unknown soldiers who gave everything. Their parents never got to bury them, ever. And you are out there guarding the unknowns for those people. You never got that satisfaction of burying their loved ones. And I just feel an overwhelming sense of pride to be able to do that.
And while the extreme weather conditions, long hours, and high standards would dissuade volunteers from coming forward, the Sentinels all stated it was their greatest decision.
An extremely stressful, fast-paced, life-changing event. Easiest way to explain it.
But also the better way.
Oh, absolutely. It'll change you as a person, it'll change you as a soldier, teach you how to be a leader, teach you how to be led. You'll learn more about yourself than you ever thought you will. It'll push you to the edge physically, mentally, and then it'll push you some more. And if you have that drive and motivation to keep on pushing, you can make it through till the end.
The Sentinels agree. My dedication to this sacred duty is total and wholehearted, and the responsibility bestowed on me never will I falter. And with dignity and perseverance, my standard will remain perfection. Through the years of diligence and praise, and the discomfort of the elements, I will walk my tour in humble reverence to the best of my ability. It is he who commands the respect I protect. His bravery that made us so proud. Surrounded by well-meaning crowds by day, alone in the thoughtful peace of night, this soldier will in honor glory rest under my eternal vigilance. Simon, 1971.
Come on. Woo. Guard yells at kid for crossing.
What do y'all think? Oh my God.
One thing that Guard said is they were about the badge. They were working hard. With the badge.
Yeah. Great. Anybody else?
I think that the guy said it was a stressful and fast-paced environment. Watching that as like the farthest thing from fast-paced I would imagine. And so just like perspective of being in that role, the different really is the reality versus
when we walked up, we actually got there right at the changing of the guard, and I just was staring. And there were people around us that were kind of laughing and talking, and it pissed me off. So I was like, I kept telling Jordan, I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to tell them. Because it's such this reverent moment where everyone's very somber and they're changing of the guard. And it said, I read a little bit, I told you about the geek, I read a little bit about it. And basically during the summer, they change every 30 minutes. They go through this whole process. During the winter, it's every hour, right? And no matter what the conditions are, they're out there guarding. And I sat on the step and I took a whole bunch of videos and I'm just staring, and all I felt God speaking to me was, you have the same type of commitment when you serve the people of your campus. Do you feel the same type of passion for what I've called you to do? And it's sort of like my stomach was sick the whole time because I kept thinking about the moments when I feel like it gets difficult and I may be negative about something, or the thing that I used to love becomes a burden, or I have to meet with someone to counsel with them and I'm hesitant to do it and don't feel like it. That's when that moment spoke to me. I'm like, really? So you asked for this, you signed up for this, and do you show that same level of commitment? And it's cool because there's a path. They have that little walking thing that the person walks back and forth on. And there's like this worn down part on one of the sides of it where they actually turn every time. very weathered from them doing the same pattern over and over. And I just kept thinking about my life here and figuring out, man, the same walk that I make over and over again, and the seasons or the parts of that path that are weathered, and how do I process through that? How do I deal that and shoulder that burden well? And I love this with the Sentinels because it's interesting that when the weather is worse, they see it as a higher honor to be guarding the tomb. When the conditions are difficult, that's when they sense the honor more. So during Hurricane Sandy, on 9/11, they stayed in place guarding that tomb. Isn't that crazy? They stayed in place. And so amongst each other, when there's something, a bad storm happening, they almost have this sense of excitement of, yeah, I get to be out there. I get to do that. And I felt like this accurately sort of describes how we operate in the way that we care for, honor, welcome, and love on our guests. It's that same level of attention to detail, not in a rigid way where we refuse or we put rules over people, but it's that level of detail where they're burning off the little threads that were hanging off. My goodness. It's like they spent 11 hours getting their uniform ready. What? That's crazy. So how on earth would I then not spend the same type of preparation for the thing that God's called me to? That's all I can think about. And I feel like, so for me, I get really fired up about this because part of my story of coming, I say back to church because I grew up in the church, and in college, I went to University of Florida, and suddenly like the world opened up for me outside of my little youth group back home. And I really started doing everything that was opposed to the faith that I had known growing up. So suddenly the freedom meant that I wasn't an example. I wasn't an example anymore. So I messed around with drugs. I drank like crazy, party, relationships, everything that basically took me to a place of emptiness. However, on the outside, I still portrayed this image of someone that was put together, was poised. I had a great job in college. I made great grades. I smiled, but my life was an absolute wreck on the weekend. And so when I graduated and got a job in medical sales, it was like more of the same thing of me portraying something, but then completely being wasted all weekend and going to work on Monday, thinking about suicide because I felt like my life didn't matter. Yet I'm still attaining all these things. I had a 6-figure job, but still felt like I was worthless and poor. It's like no matter what, I couldn't seem to feel something. So for me, somebody invited me to church. Somebody said, hey, why don't you come to church? I think I was 23. It was after school. By the way, nobody invited me to church ever once when I was in college during this season. So it's crazy. Never had an invite extended to me. I went after school, and I remember so vividly, it was a church in Ocala in Florida, and I walked in, and this is an awesome church. This is where I came from. I honor them, but their process for welcoming people just isn't anything like ours. So I remember sort of sneaking in. Nobody noticed me. I go to the experience. I didn't feel a thing. I wish it was a better story that it was like God spoke to me and I realized that I wanted to recommit. No. I didn't really feel anything at all. And I remember I hadn't slept the night before. Didn't go to bed. I think at like 4:30. I tried to put my head down, whatever. And that person had texted me that morning to come to church. And I'm sneaking out of the back of the building, and one of their pastors happened to see me. And his name's John, and he said, hey, how are you doing? Just said hey to me. And I was like, I'm great. I'm good. I did not want to talk to anybody. And he starts like asking me what brought me here that day and whatever. And we're talking, and I just kind of like poured out everything to him. And I remember he said to me, he like sort of grabbed me by the shoulders because I was starting to get upset. I was like, hey, I'm good. Like maybe I'll come next time. And he's like, hey, you were called for more than this. Which probably sounds like a little bit of a trite statement, right? Like you probably told people that before, but he said, you were called for more than this. And all I could think about was, you are insane, you're wrong. If you only knew what I had done last night, if you only knew where I've been, I'm not worthy of this. And then at the end of the conversation, he asked me to start serving in student ministry at the church. I was like, this dude is crazy. Why do they want me around young people? I'm the worst example. Why? But he made me feel so important and so welcome because he took a second to talk to me. The truth of it is, at that church, I probably would have never been connected if he hadn't spoken to me. Because they don't have systems like we do. They didn't have a place where you could go. They didn't have volunteers like vocally trying to talk to you. But instead it was because he decided to have that single conversation with me. But then fast forward, I started volunteering, and suddenly I was an example to someone. And it meant something of how I lived my life. And I started cleaning things up and got real involved at the church. And then a few years later is when I decided to apply to be here. And so we see this chain of events that happens, not because of some glamorous system that they have, but it was because of one person decided to speak to me and engage with me. And I think that's why this is so powerful. When we talk about the guest experience, I don't know if it comes to your mind, but to me, what I think about is that moment is when we engage someone and we get to bring them into what's happening, when we pull them out of their guilt and their shame and their unworthiness, and we get to say, hey, you can be a part of this too. And I think that's what makes it powerful at our church. So we're going to run through some areas and talk about some things. But I want us to be thinking in through the filter of a single person. Not all those people, not when you think about Usher, so Valentine, you can see up to 2,000 people in the room. I can't think about 2,000 people. I've got to think about that one person.
Yeah.
I can't process, I can't just throw things out the window because of one. But I've got to filter it through the eyes of one person. So I thought I want one person just to share real quick, maybe your first experience to Elevation and what that looked like.
That woman name was funny. I remember her name. She's very intentional with my family. First time coming to Blakeney, we were going to Bloomington on vacation, and she went out her way. I mean, she met us at our car, went to know where we were from, got us seats in the auditorium. It was my first time seeing Elevation in person. Super excited but nervous at the same time. Even though I'm a church kid, I still was like, what is this place? What's about to happen? And I remember her because she was very intentional, even connecting with us when we came out. And she wanted to get us our t-shirt to make sure that, we had a good experience. And then after that, she found us on Facebook. And she was like, hey, hope y'all enjoy. I was like, oh my goodness, you won't leave us alone. I was like
stalking you.
My marriage, it was just so cool because she was a young person and just wanted to make sure we had a good time and was a safe travel back to the sea. And I was like, my goodness, I'm from Black church, we don't even stand out in the parking lot, seriously. And so to see her go out of her way to make sure that we had an engaging experience, personal experience, not just come to church and leave.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's most important, just that people will notice. And that doesn't just end with our volunteers. I think it's important for us. I want to say that first is that we get to lead through those types of moments more than anybody else. That it starts with us. So Jordan and I have this thing where we make sure that when we're walking around, we will high five, touch, make eye contact with every single person that we walk by. Volunteers, we don't ever want to just walk by and not notice them. And it's kind of annoying and it's exhausting sometimes. We'll always be like, hey, what's up? Hey, how are you? Hey, hello. Because you make people feel welcome, right? And that includes people on your campus. And so I think it starts with our campus staff, with our leaders, and then filters down to volunteers. That the worst thing you can do is that someone comes to church and they're so excited, either they've never been to Elevation and they drove 16 hours to get here, or last night they slept with their boyfriend and they woke up this morning and they felt like, man, I need to go to church today. So whatever end of the spectrum that person falls on, how do we help them feel love? And this may feel very elementary, but man, sometimes in different seasons, right, we can get lazy in this and we can forget. How do we really make sure that we're always aware of what we're communicating in our posture and the way that we look? You guys have probably heard Pastor preached a little bit about it this past weekend about the passage in Acts with the man at the gate called Beautiful, remember? And I bet a lot of you have heard this teaching before, but we often call it the one-day teaching. We do it a little bit in our E101. I want to read through the passage really quickly. It's review for a lot of you probably, but I think it's really important. So in Acts chapter 3, it says, one day Peter and John were going up to the temple at the time of prayer at 3 in the afternoon. Now a man who was lame from birth was being carried to the temple gate called Beautiful, where he was put every day to beg from those going into the temple courts. When he saw Peter and John about to enter, he asked them for money. Peter looked straight at him, as did John. Then Peter said, look at us. So the man gave them his attention, expecting to get something from them. Then Peter said, silver or gold I do not have, but what I do have I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walk. Taking him by the right hand, he helped him up, and instantly the man's feet and ankles became strong. He jumped to his feet and began to walk. And the story goes on to where people actually see that he was the man who was crippled, and how that began to be a testimony to others about what God can do. I know you guys have probably read through this passage. Go back and look at it again if you haven't. But this is important because this speaks to the one person. This speaks to the one. And Pastor, when he talked about the power of provision this weekend, he talked about the man's need to see the supply, right? The provision that was found in Peter and John. And I think you can see the similarities in a lot of our guests that many feel like they've been crippled from birth by something, whether it's addiction, whether it's feelings of unworthiness, whether it's shame from what they've been through, whether it's something that happened in their family, if they were sexually abused, whatever it is, right? They have these things that they've carried their whole life. And imagine this man here being carried day after day after day after day. How hopeless is that, right? The same thing every single day, more of the same, more of the same. He gets put at the gate. He thinks he knows what he needs, but Peter and John know something different. I think with our people, it's a lot of that, right? They come, they don't think they really need to experience Christ. They're probably not going to articulate it that way. They're like, man, I just feel better. I feel better after I go to church. I don't know, it's cool. Or I don't know what I did last week. I probably should go to church. People from all different backgrounds. But we get to give them something far more than what they ever expected, right? And so at the end of this, we see him be this beautiful example of redemption and healing, and then that gets to be a witness to other people. So here's my question for you. When you read this story, who do you see yourself as? Who are you? Both? Why?
Because I can literally remember being one that become, but also I can see how that.
Great. I think that's important, that we can always see ourselves as being that person in front of the gate. And I figure, a lot of times I might be quick to say, oh, I'm the person helping them up, for sure. Like, that's what I do. That's my job. But for me, I think I've been very intentional at making sure that I can constantly put myself back in front of that gate. That I remember that moment so much because I haven't gotten so far away from my past, right? It's been 8 years or something, but I remember what it felt like to feel like I was not good enough. And so if you sit here today and you know your heart, if you do not picture yourself as that person in front of the gate, you've got to get to where you can because you can't ever minister to people if not, right? Maybe you grew up, and my husband actually, Jordan has a different story than me, that he grew up going to like Christian school, Christian college. He's always made good decisions. So sometimes he feels like his story, I don't have that like dramatic story like you do, but he still has to find a way, right, to position himself in a place where he knows what it means to be broken and need God and feel like he's not good enough. And so no matter in your chair where you are today, you've got to be in a place where you can say, I know what that's like. Because otherwise you won't have the compassion in your heart. Then you're just carrying out a bunch of tasks, right? You're a taskmaster for your team, and you're like, nope, that chair's out of place, move that. Instead of, no, I am setting this atmosphere for people that are about to come. And like in the thing with the Sentinels, we always says this thing, what does it say? Your level of, what is it, Don? You know, level of preparation. Yes. So however we prepare for someone, right, determine or that dictates or says what you value in that person. So like the example would be if I'm having someone over, we always give this example, I love it. So if I'm having someone over to my house, right? So if like my friend's coming over, I'm gonna make sure it's probably clean, right? Go to the bathroom downstairs, make sure that thing checks out all right. I'm gonna make sure it looks good. But hey, like if my in-laws are coming over to our house, y'all please, I'm gonna make sure that like things are nice and clean, air freshener, whatever. Now, okay, so if pastor is coming over to our house, right? I'll make sure it's really nice and clean, right? If the president is coming, bless him, to our house, then I'm gonna make sure that it's right. I'm gonna like really, everything's gonna be nice and fancy, like shrubbery out front, whatever. So the way that you prepare for someone who's coming, man, that says a lot about how much you value them. And so like I think about the Sentinels, they're all this preparation, 11 hours of time, where they're saying, man, I gotta get everything just right, right? They're making sure that they're communicating. This is a value to us. We're making sure that we're communicating the importance. And so for us on the campus, what does that mean? Like if the worship team shows up at the last minute and they're late and they roll in and there's crap everywhere, what does that say to people? No, we get there, we make sure that everything's clean, there's nothing out of place. And this is where sometimes like I can be considered a little bit anal, but no, it's like we're setting an atmosphere. These people are coming, we may only have one opportunity. So how do we really clear the path of everything that could be distracting for someone? So as you walk through this, using that filter of, if it's not you in front of the gate, right, which it needs to be, figure out how to get there, where you remember that point where you needed God so much, And maybe you have to do a little bit of searching to get there and figure out how do you get back to that place. Maybe there's some stuff you've got to work through to get to that place, to allow yourself to be okay feeling it, so then you can minister out of that. And then the second layer to that is, who is the person that you picture in your life too? And we do this in E101, like y'all probably heard it, we'll say, who's somebody that's close to you but far from God? That's what we're doing. We're getting people to see this is who it's for. This is who it's for. And Jordan, I love, he shares this story, I think I mentioned to you guys, his brother, right, they grew up in this Christian family, and his brother decided that he's an atheist. And he's in his residency right now. He went to school for I think he learned a lot, and suddenly it shifted the things that he believed. But Jared is someone that like we'll often use in our mind that if he were coming to our church, what would we want? We wouldn't want people to be weird and like over the top, but we want them to be loving and friendly. What atmosphere would we want to set? So for you guys to figure out who's that person in your life that you plan or that you think, hey, if I invite them, here's what I want them to see. And I'm gonna be dang mad, right? If the welcome area or the host team's not on it, and they're all like huddled around the stinking table, and that person, no, that's not happening, right? So how do you get that fire in you when you're picturing the person that you're gonna invite? So you guys know this, but when someone's new to the campus, it's like everywhere they turn, they're taking in information and they're forming an experience. And I want you guys to think about your past experience, where you came from. Some of you may have been in the church world, some of you may have been like worked at a bank or been in sales, but call on your past experience to really enrich the way that you speak to some of these systems and processes, right? So what I mean is like, so if I worked in sales, man, it was like God was showing me things through my whole career that I get to use here about how every single interaction is building relationship. And people are just waiting to be able to believe that you are who you say you are. And man, that's the church, right? People come and they're like, one, they're battling guilt and all the things that they're dealing with in their own mind of, man, I shouldn't have come, probably these people are judgy, this isn't for me. But then they're looking for us to be something, right? And they're looking for anything that's a disconnect. So if somebody ignores them or is rude to them or is short to them, they're immediately like, oh, see, I knew it. I shouldn't come here, I knew it. That they're just like everybody else, right? There's all these lines that they go through. And so how do we remember that every single part of the experience adds up? So it's from the parking lot, we used to say on stage, from the parking lot all the way to the auditorium, we used to say that. I hope you don't anymore. But it basically, what people were trying to articulate from stage is like, hey, it's important to us from the minute you got out of your car to the parking lot that it was a consistent experience. And so that means when I get out of the car, that the host team is there to welcome me at the car, and they're smiling, right? And they're bringing them inside, and they're showing them where everything is. And it means that when I leave that day, I'm engaging the people in the tent, right? So it's this consistent experience, which includes us in this room, because we can be a gap in that too. So it means that all of us have to be on our A game. And so you'll notice for us, we're trying to make things easy and simple for people all the time, right? Point the way, clear the path. So it's like, let's get all the obstacles out of the way for them, and let's tell them where to go. Tell me, what's the first thing that you noticed? Like when you first came to visit, if you were actually here for the first time, right? So think back. What was the first thing that you noticed? The smell. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Probably all gonna get like cancer and okay, what else? But they were like welcoming or what about it?
They were on like music.
I like that. Music, okay. What else? Diversity, yeah. What else?
The amount of people that were trying to get to church.
That's good. Yeah. So all those things are like characteristics that were all very intentional, right? Even that, the amount of people trying to get to church is like, we hold doors, right? We don't open at 4 o'clock so that people can have this slow, awkward trickle over an hour. We hold doors, not like a club, but we hold doors to make sure that people are out there and we're creating momentum and excitement. And we open doors and it's like a rush of people. The smell, the volunteers, all these things are created. They don't just happen on accident. So we don't engineer or manipulate something for people, but we do intentionally create it, right? Yeah. It's not an accident. So figuring out how do we make it easy. A big part of that is like the orange and the black tent, right? And I'm not going to go into detail about like all the iterations of what the welcome area used to be and has been and whatever. It's changed a lot. I think Jordan may have touched on that a little bit, but essentially where we are now, you know this, right? Everybody have an orange and a black tent at their campus? Anybody do it different? Okay. What campus are you at?
Concord.
At Concord. Okay. Oh yeah, because y'all do it inside, right? So we've made different changes. We had like the mega dome thing that was crazy for a while. Now we've gone back to the host team and the welcome team. The big reason in like 60 seconds behind that is for a season we focused on engagement, which was the welcome area. It became like a one-stop shop, right? Where we weren't having to hand off people. It was like I could go to UVal and you would be able to help with everything that I need. Then we realized, okay, what's happening is the weight that we were putting the first-time guests seemed to have been lost a little bit because of that. So then we added a black tent. No, we didn't go backwards. We're still progressing, but we added back a black tent and we renamed it to host team and welcome team. And in the meantime, what we did is we gave each individual team a sort of mission, right? That like, hey, this is your charge or your mental model. So for the host team, their mental model is that they are hosting someone in their home. So imagine if you had someone over to your house, what would you want them to do? You would welcome them at the door, right? You might even go out into the yard, right? That's not redneck there. It's not the property. You go out front. And so, like, you're not just gonna like go pee in your bedroom and when they ring the doorbell, like, come on in, it's fine. No, you're gonna go down there, you're gonna open the door, right? So for like our host team, they're gonna go to the car. Hey, I'm so glad you're here this morning. They're gonna bring people in. They're gonna walk them in, they're gonna show them where the bathroom is. Anything that you would want to know basically coming into our house for the first time. They're gonna say, oh, here's the auditorium. So at Valentine, they may talk about the line a little bit even, because that's new for people sometimes. So they may say, hey, typically here's where our guests wait. We have plenty of seats, don't worry. I would not say that. But just get in line here. They're gonna help to make them feel comfortable. Somebody had asked a question about, I think John was at you, about VIPs, like that may come in for the first time and then they sometimes are like standing lonely. You asked that? For us, what we try to do is bring them into the line so they feel like connected. Sometimes our host team volunteers will bring them into the lobby. I do think that's kind of awkward for them, but the goal I think would be to have them be with the rest of the people for sure. Sometimes the host team wants them to get better seats, so we'll take them in. But again, at Valentine, like, we're still retraining culture for old lady volunteers that, hey guys, we have enough seats, everything's okay. So the goal would typically be, hey, let's bring them into the line. If doors are open, then our host team will actually walk them into the building, into the auditorium doors, and then let them go in from there. But you see it's sort of this chain of experience from like the parking team to the welcome team and host team, then to the greeters, then to the ushers, as I go into the building basically. So all throughout the flow, really people should not be like wandering and lost. It's basically like a what's it called, a baton. There it is. It's basically passing it from one person to the next and saying, okay, here, it's not a handoff, right? It's saying, hey, here you go. Then they engage with the greeter. So it's like this pathway for them as they go into the experience. And this may vary at different campuses. Like, understand that sometimes you'll see slight variations in the actual execution, but it shouldn't change the principle of honor in it. So you have to be really careful because what can look like may just be something different at a campus can really change the aspect of how we're honoring people. So I'll give you a real life example, right? So at Valentine right now, y'all probably know this, but parking spot wise, we are very, very short all the time. All of our volunteers actually park at Valentine Elementary. They take a shuttle to the campus. It's amazing. And before they start, we do this because we literally don't have enough spots. On Sunday morning, when the turn happens, people cannot get into the church. They have nowhere to park. So we're trying to figure out how do we manage that for people. Well, right now, the only way that we were able to do it is by taking our VIP parking lot and eliminating it, right? We've done it, I think, 2 weeks in a row. And holistically, parking and like my sweet husband made that decision. And then we're going back and forth now because, right, I'm fighting for, hey, hold on. It doesn't have to be right there, but we probably need a VIP lot somewhere. Because if we're not careful, we can start to lose what it is that makes it special and we're honoring people. But again, this is thinking like a CP at a campus. You do have to weigh out the options. So like we haven't landed anywhere now because we're trying to figure out, it's kind of, Jordan and I are talking, okay, so we've got to get people in. Like, obviously that's a priority, right? Getting people into the campus, we've got to honor our guests. So if we can't do a VIP lot, can we do a smaller one? What can we do? So you see what I mean? It's not always going to be consistent. Concord doing their welcome area inside the building, right? They're working what they have. That's a great space for them. They've made it awesome. So it's figuring out how do you create what works for your campus. But if you lose, you just got to be careful when you're losing things. I think that's the identifier. When you're not doing things any longer, that's when you have to be So host team, I'm gonna walk through like teams really fast. If you guys have questions, will you raise your hand and stop me if you will, okay? Hey, by the way, I wanted to tell y'all the question thing. I don't know if anyone's like challenged you in this yet, but make sure, so I sent out an email. Did everybody get it? Yes. I sent out an email saying like, hey, send me some questions about risk experience. So, and I may have been confusing about, hey, you don't have any, okay? I didn't say that, but I would assume that everybody has a question or two, right? I want to challenge you. If you ever have a leader ask you for something, yet you go out of your way no matter what, okay? I want you to do that. So I think 5 or 6 people responded or whatever, but that's a good indicator of your investment and your effort. Think about that sentinel, right? The guy that spends 11 hours getting his uniform together. Man, this is what we asked for. We want to be here. We're called to be here. And so little things like that, okay? Like sending questions in. You may know a lot about, like, I guess, experience, but guarantee you don't know everything. So will you do that for me though? So if somebody comes in again, man, make sure that you're responding, because that all speaks to those little things. Faithful in little, right? But be faithful in much. So make sure you're on it with that. But I do want you to ask questions today. Okay, so raise your hand, stop me real quick. We have plenty of time. Yes.
There we go. What you're about to read off in the Go for Teams, is that a document that you have for?
I can share it. Yeah, it's kind of just like my notes, but I can send it to you.
Yeah, do you have a document for Valentine that describes each team and kind of what your expectations are?
I don't think we have a formal one. We have like some per team things that I could give to you guys. Yeah. Somebody had asked me for like a 2-sentence description of every team or whatever. We don't have something like that, I don't think centrally, but we could put something together. It might be a great project for one of you guys to do actually, to figure out, okay, let's put together what the actual goal of every team is. So our teams will have mental models often that like each staff has given, but and a lot of it's intuitive probably, but it would be good. We don't have something right now centrally that says like, hey, this team does this. And you guys probably know a lot by seeing it happen, but yeah.
Yeah, just because we're one of the people that came in from another church, and so just trying to, like, I'm still trying to, I'm at Gaston. And so still trying to understand, like, okay, so what's this team's responsibilities? Like, are we asking them those things? So not having something, because I'm visual, so when people are I just need a piece of paper in front of me. It's taken me a little longer to kind of pick up on whether or not that's something they're supposed to be doing or who does that. And one of the people said, what was one of the phrases that they said? It was like, basically like somebody before them taught it, and then somebody taught them, and then somebody taught them. And I was like, oh, okay, so, and I was like, but where's the expectation bar? So I just didn't know, so I'm trying to still figure that out. And only seeing one campus, I don't know, like, what the expectation is for Central or anything like that. So.
What you bring up is really valid, because I think a lot of times from campus to campus, it can vary a little bit. We have some SOPs at Valentine that I could share too that might be helpful for you guys. I think that's one area we miss of our church right now, is getting like standardized for every area for our entire church, which actually, are y'all going to the guest experience training next week?
Yeah.
So that's a big component of that, is realizing the need for some standardization and retraining across the board. Because like at Valentine, like, we do things the way that we do them, and I feel like we, like 95% of the time, man, we're going hard to make sure that we're like doing everything very well. But you're right that if it's just passing on from person to person, it's not always helpful. So yeah, I think we're on a good track with that, and I can put something together for you guys too. And I want to challenge you. So a lot of this, like, so for example, the host team, like, man, so the host team is responsible for welcoming and honoring our guests, essentially. Like, a lot of it, I think you'll be able to figure out by serving on it.
Right.
But we can get something maybe that has a couple sentences so that you know. But we do need SOPs. Has anyone seen SOPs at their campus yet? Nobody? Don't know what an SOP is? Okay, so this is a side. Let's not get derailed now, but we'll think about that for you guys too, especially if you didn't talk about that you may not have exposure before. So the host team, essentially, they're welcoming and honoring first-time guests. First-time guests are their focus. Now the host team, they're able to do other things, like they're part of us combining it in the past season. Now the great part about that is people are cross-trained in different things. So if I'm a host team volunteer and you come up to me, I can still help you to get connected into an e-group or serving, but my focus is welcoming first-time guests. Got it? So for host team. So welcome team, the difference is they're responsible for helping people to get engaged into the ministry. So that's orange tent, right? So welcome team. You have host team. Remember hosting someone in your home. The welcome team, their mental model is that of a talent scout. So imagine that if I'm a scout, right, man, I'm not just waiting for people to come to me. I'm like going out. So like a college, I don't know what you call it in sports. Scout, yeah, thank you. He or she doesn't just wait for someone to come to them, right? No, they're like going to games. They're seeing people. They're searching out talent. Our welcome team is like that too. That their responsibility is not just to content. They're to go out and bring people into the ministry. So like at Valentine, our welcome team actually walks the line beforehand. So when you have people sort of hostage in mind, it's a great opportunity that our welcome team gets to go and walk and talk to people about signing up for an e-group or volunteering. So the main components are signing up for an e-group, and you might want to write this down now too so that you have it. This will be a good start to your notes too. Right. So e-groups and e-team, outreach as well. And those are the main things that people are going to come to the tent about. Baptism is another thing that they can help with. There is a Connect tool. Again, it'll log us down now at your campus. If you haven't, who's used the Connect tool so far? Okay, so if you haven't, when are you rotating in through welcome area? Y'all are serving a week on each team, right? Or a weekend?
Can you remind me what the next one is?
For sure. So the Connect tool is basically, our web team did it. It's a website that you go to and you can sign people up for baptisms, for e-groups, or E101 through it. I'll send you out the web address for it, but essentially this is happening out at your welcome area. If you haven't already done this, so some of you may have already had experience and you think you don't need it, but it's probably still a great idea. Part of your time in is that you would spend time shadowing these teams. Has anyone started shadowing yet? Some of you? So you don't want to just shadow guest experience because that's not an area. You want to shadow like the greeting team, the welcome team, the host team. That's where you're going to really start to see, okay, what does this team do? So make sure that you're spending time with the team too. But the Connect tool basically is if I'm a welcome team volunteer, so I have it on my phone, I'm able to walk around. And so if I see Lon's, like I can go up to Lonnie and say, hey, have you ever thought about joining an e-group? Blah, 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 we're talking. I can pull my phone out right there and sign her up for it digitally. There's some issues with this. Sometimes the internet is slow with it, but it's what we're using right now. So the Connect tool. I'll send out the URL to you guys too. I think it's elevationchurch.cc. Is that right? Anybody know? Okay, just write it down. elevationchurch.cc. And that's the easiest way. So I said it begins with us, right? And having that link on your phone is great because often, like if I meet someone, I have it bookmarked on my phone. I can go, oh, hey, you're thinking about E101? That's awesome. Otherwise, like I'll put it in my phone and never ever actually sign them up. So this way, I can actually go to the little website. I can sign them up for E101. So for welcome team, what we're trying to get away from is that it's not like a tent where things happen. It's people mobilized to actually go out and be signing people up for that. Does that make sense? Yeah. So host team, first time guests. Welcome team is more of like helping people to be engaged. We're just gonna kind of work through some teams real quick. Pastoral care. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. If you have questions about the pastoral care team, come talk to me after. This is not a church thing. This is a Valentine thing. This came out of the need to minister to the number of people that we have. So it played me like attention I always felt was that we have all these volunteers and then we have guests that aren't connected. It was really difficult to like pass to the people that are connected and the people that aren't. So I'm talking about things like counseling, things like just meeting with people to encourage them. So at Valentine, I kind of ripped this idea off of another church, but basically the team, they call it something different, but for us we call it the pastoral care team, and they minister to people that are not connected. So at Valentine we have, I think, 1,300 volunteers, right? Holy cow, that's like a church in itself. Yeah. So our first sort of triage is we're gonna care the best for the volunteers as pastors. And then what about the people that aren't connected? Yes, I still meet with people that aren't connected, but a lot of those I can filter to our pastoral care team. And what they get to do is they get to minister, they meet with them. And then at the end of that, it's sort of a finite relationship. So it's not like a counseling relationship for 6 months. They'll meet with them 3 times. At the end of those 3 meetings, we'll then try to get them signed up for an e-group or to volunteer. The problem is right now, the way that we care for the unconnected is often they will come to the tent, and if we're not careful, we'll like send them to an e-group. So the person comes up and they're like, have been struggling, I've been having suicidal thoughts, my marriage is falling apart, and the volunteer is trying to help them and they say, oh my gosh, I should sign you up for an e-group. That may not be the next best step for them, right? Yes, let's get some people around you, that's awesome, but then maybe we need to refer them to a counselor. So our pastoral care team is sort of a bridge to that. At most campuses though, what that means is they're gonna either go to the tent and they're gonna refer them to a group or a teacher, or they're gonna write something down and give it to the ACT or the CT. So if you're wondering how that works, that if you don't have that team, that's probably what happens. Or somebody goes and grabs one of the pastors. With our team at Valentine's, specifically what we do is then I can kind of be through them with the leader and say, hey, let me take that one. I'll talk to that person. But what we've done then is we've multiplied ourselves. So versus me feeling like I've got to have 42 people that I'm texting with every single day about the fact that they just broke up with their boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. It's not manageable. So I still get to pastor people, but now I get to sort of pastor a smaller amount and care for them better because I'm not trying to manage like all this different things. Does that make sense? Yeah. We can talk more about that like one-on-one if you want to. Because that for now just is a Valentine thing. Prayer request is something I wanted to mention. We respond to every single prayer request that comes in at Valentine. Our pastoral care team actually does this. Many campuses may have used when we used to have a prayer team. I probably know that there are campuses that aren't getting to this. So if you're at a campus, we might investigate and figure out, hey, what are we doing with these prayer requests? Because one, we have the responsibility of responding to this request, right? This is somebody who's reaching out. But two, if you're smart, remember, if you think like a CP, you're gonna say, oh man, those are people that aren't yet connected into our ministry probably, right? You can filter those, find out who's not a volunteer or in an e-group. And now, the goal was not like, we have legislative prayer requests, come join an e-group, but it's a way, it's an access point into the ministry. Jordan may have talked about this a little bit with engagement, but if I'm smart and I'm trying to grow my campus, if I have, so at Valentine, we have like 50 prayer requests per weekend that come in. And those are opportunities that our pastoral care team can follow up with and say, hey, Jason, I'm gonna be praying for you, and let me know how it goes. Even if it's a little text message, hey, have you thought about joining this men's group that we've got? It's awesome. Or maybe it's referring them to a specific team. Do you see how that works? So this is still part of our guest experience because it's any type of engagement or communication with guests. Let's see. Yeah.
So what about those people that are like moved by the Holy Spirit, they're crying when they come out of service and they're getting prayer right then and there?
Yeah.
Not like later on follow-up. I had a lot of meetings last weekend and I wasn't sure, okay, do I take them to somebody? Is this pastoral, do I grab a pastor, or are volunteers able to pray with them? Are they engaged?
Great question. I think Val, you had talked about this in your question. So I'll speak to two. So Valentine, that's part of like why the pastoral care team is helpful because that's their whole point. They're not like engaging first-time guests. They can, so like they're not just gonna stand there like a robot and there's no one there with them, but they're never like stuck in the task basically. So for them, they're always available. So if someone's crying or someone's upset, people either grab a staff member like a pastor or they grab someone from the pastoral care team. So you can do either. So for again, this is part of why we have this team because at Whitney, somebody would say, oh, I need a pastor, and I'd be like running by in the middle of something and someone would grab me and I can't look at the crying person and say, I'm sorry, something's going on in the auditorium, right? We want to give people our best attention. So often the pastoral care team for us is amazing because at least they can talk to them even for a moment and then they shoot me a text and say, hey, I've got someone, can you come? So that's a great bridge to that. Otherwise, yes, at the welcome team, our volunteers are able to pray with people. Val, you asked about like training for praying people. Right now, we don't really have like a formal training for how to pray with people over specific things. That's probably another like evolution of this. At Valentine, we solved a lot of it because of the pastoral care team. They can take the more serious things. And the welcome team and host team knows basically, like if something is big or someone's talking about some extreme struggle they're having, they can take them to the pastoral care team member. Does that make sense? So it's like a triage thing basically. But I'd say for most campuses, it's grabbing a pastor or staff member for sure. Yeah.
How was the pastoral care team Valentine identified? Did they stay by the welcome area? Did they have another area? Did volunteers know where to take them? Or how?
Yeah. So
you're talking thousands of people in Valentine.
Yeah. This is one of my big initiatives because this is a new thing. So we just added this at launch. So one of my initiatives right now is working on how we market it better from stage. Stage we're like competitive for time, but what I want is for us to be able to mention it and say, hey, if you have something that you're walking through our pastoral care team, blah, blah, blah. We're not there yet. We just ordered some lanyards for them, so they'll have an identification. The biggest way though is that the welcome team and host team is their relationship with each other, that they know and know the face. So that they're like, oh yeah, I know Giselle is here, let me take them to her. So right now, like the team, when they started, all they wanted to do was market themselves and like, how do we tell everyone? I'm like, hey, it's up to you. Like, it's you. You go talk to people and you let people know that you're here. So it's basically if the host team knows like Giselle, then they're gonna know who to take people to. So it's kind of grassroots right now. It's not the best, but we're working on how to market it better for sure. And it's volunteers knowing that it exists. So like if an e-kids volunteer, like we'll talk to them sometimes. I'll say, hey, if you hear like a mom picking up her kid and she's like, yeah, we've really been struggling at home. I don't know what we're gonna do. Get their permission to have someone contact them. Man, now we're caring for people. Instead of feeling like, you know, how can I do all this? It's like I have a team of people too that I can say, hey, just reach out to this person. Yeah. So again, it's thinking in ways of like multiplying people. So let's see. Ushers. Ushers is a big one, right? So for our usher team, some of you probably say that at your campus things may roll a little bit different. Like John mentioned, re-entering people in the auditorium. That's a big one. So for us, so at Valentine, man, we're not going to allow people to re-enter a majority of the time. Now this is where, right, we can't let like a rule be more important than a person, because if somebody's like kid is inside the auditorium or something like that, we're not going to say, I'm sorry, you can't go back in. We'll let them back in, even if they're sitting in a place that's not convenient. But we do it strategically. So we'll wait till people stand, and people stand up and they're clapping, then we'll send the person in. We're not always perfect at this. So like last weekend, I got a text about some people that were coming in and out. We try to make it to where that is the rule, but we are careful to make sure that ushers use their heads too. And it's not just, no, we don't do that. We're not allowed to do that. No, it's, hey, I'm so sorry. It's giving a vision behind it. And you guys know with ushers, again, it's too many details today, but if you have questions, ask your ACP or your CP, but watch your auditorium atmosphere with the pipe and drape. So you know the point of it, right? It's creating an atmosphere of urgency. It's a better room dynamic. So it's taking the momentum and it's slowly increasing it, right? So that I don't walk into this huge empty room and I'm like, oh wow, nobody's here today, or wherever everybody is. It's like, no man, we're having a full pipe and drape back. We're getting seats. It's the same reason, like in a meeting, if I know that there's going to be 25 people in a meeting, I will purposely never put 25 chairs out. I'll put 20, and then we'll grab chairs every time. And this is where, like, we're talking about this here, but this has to become so much a part of you that it's not that somebody has to tell you. It's like, man, how do I create an awesome group dynamic? Or how do I, so like empty seats, where y'all get to the point where you're like, crap, there's an empty seat by me. I know we're just in a meeting, but let me get this chair out of here so that it feels more like close together. And in a worship experience, the point of empties is, one, the dynamic of like if I'm there worshiping, remember I'm there and I'm struggling with all my junk. Man, I gotta be around people. I can't be isolated. And so like people that want to sit by themselves or that want to leave spaces, we pack people in. It's often a necessity, right? Because you need to fill the seat, because you need space. But two, if you're not full, we still have pipe and drape, because you're basically creating an atmosphere of expectation for people. So it's having control over the things that you can't control. It's not manipulating people. It's not like tricking them into being exciting. It's saying, hey man, this is awesome. This is urgent. God's gonna move today. Hey, let's add chairs in. Because it's a different feeling, right? I visited my brother's church in Florida like 6 months ago. It's a smaller church, and we walk in and there weren't enough seats. There's probably 200 people in the room, but there weren't enough seats, and I had to like, we were trying to like find chairs and like unstacked. It was awful, right? Because the ushers weren't even like seating people. So we were having to go like find a chair and lug a chair over. But I hated that, but there was still some excitement in a room of 200 people of like, man, like this place is full, let's have, right? It's still this mental thing. And so for us, again, it's not in a manipulation way, but it's an excitement thing. How do we not create disconnect in the experience to where I'm coming in, the pipe and drape is moving? Again, like as far as how the actual pipe and drape, like at what pace it goes back, all that kind of stuff, at your campus, this is where you got to dig in. So what this is not today is like, hey, here's just a like a fix-all solution to what guest experience is. This is more the philosophy of how we care for our guests, and then a lot of this tactical stuff you've got to work out at your campus. Because I promise you, there's going to be variations. Like at Valentine, how many rows we skip when we move the pipe and drape. There's little things that ushers will do sometimes, like at Valentine for a while, they were trying to lay the drape on the seat in front of it because it saved them from moving it back a row. We were like, no, that's not what we do. We don't save our energy for moving it back. Let's put the drape so it looks great. So at your campus too, looking at those things that are people cutting corners versus making it the most excellent experience. Cool? Greeters. So y'all know the purpose of ushers is obvious, right? We're helping the guests to get seated, you're helping to make them feel welcome and instructed too. So when they're coming in, you don't get that feeling when you walk in and you feel stupid, like wandering around. That's what we don't want. So it's like that we're in control at all times, that people know right where they're going. The greeting team, again, that's an intuitive one. Obviously, greeters are welcoming people at the door, but they're also, there's a practical component, right? They're giving them like their worship guide, giving them their pen. One thing, this is kind of small, you may know this, but we don't ever just like set things out for people. So for example, in our overflow, we should never put chairs out and then just like set a worship guide and a pen in each chair. That's not what we do. We hand it to them, right? It's the same reason like we don't prop doors open. We open a door for a guest. So we don't just leave it open and have people trail in. There's something special about opening a door for someone, right? So y'all have to use that vision that you have to be able to say, hey, what are those things right now that I see at my campus that I think would be better? Parking team, you know, so parking there, we say it like it's kind of cheesy sometimes, like it begins in the parking lot. It's true though, right? It begins there. And so if you have any disconnect and experience in the parking lot, at Valentine initially, man, there were tensions a lot because things were hard. If somebody's pulling in and they're greeted by an angry looking person, man, immediately, again, we're speaking to those insecurities or we're speaking to those things that they're struggling with. So what can seem like a small interaction can become very big to someone. When they're walking in and all they're wanting to do is prove that they don't fit in, right? In their mind, they're going to look for something that tells them they don't actually fit in. So figuring out how do you look for those areas on your campus and be able to see those details and then speak up in the right way, right, with the right approach and say, hey, I feel like I saw this happening. I don't know that that's our culture. I'm not sure. Can you help me learn about it? Okay, so you won't have just a list always of here's how you execute, here's how you penetrate, but it's using your experience, right, in that sense. So sometimes I think we can look for the things that are only seen versus sensing what's unseen, right? Even if you've never been exposed to our church, a couple of you were saying that you haven't been around, then you have that sense. Once you've been exposed to the culture, you begin to take in information I think you know, and you can say, I feel like this isn't what we do. Hey, I see that we just set that stuff down in the chair. Is that what we normally do? So how do we go that extra mile? I love like when we watch the video about the Sentinel because I feel like what I see there is nothing being cut or eliminated. I mean, every little detail they're willing to do because they value the person that's coming, right? They value what's happening next. And so for us to see the weight and the importance of the people that are coming, that this is not a set of tasks that we have to get done. So when you walk in the morning, it's not doing a walkthrough of the building on a Sunday morning and going, oh, you didn't move that, that's out of place, look at that sucks. No, this is, hey guys, man, the people are coming here shortly. I'm so excited they're coming. Let's make this place look awesome. And so sometimes that means that it's not on a piece of paper that you get from your ACP that says, hey, make sure all this is in place. This is you being aware and using your senses when you walk to the lobby and seeing what things look like they're not supposed to be there. And for some of you that maybe didn't have exposure before, you are not at a disadvantage because sometimes even having fresh eyes, right, that you can see things that I may never be able to see. And right now at your campuses, you're 3 weeks in, you're getting to the point where your eyes are no longer fresh in that location. It's true. You're maybe there now already where you can start walking around and that thing that's always there, you see that. Or yeah, the parking team, they always say that. Yeah, nope. This is where we remember that, right? Who are you? You are not the person that's picking the person up. You are the person at the gate. You are the man laying in front of the gate who is desperate and hurting and unworthy. That's who you are. And so what do you want to experience? You don't want the unfriendly person in the parking lot. You don't want the messy stuff out in the lobby. You don't want the usher that looks angry because you won't sit right where he wants you to sit. So how do we filter all that through the compassion that we feel for that person? Cool? Anybody have questions? John, you need in like 3 minutes, right?
No, I'm good. Keep
You
going.
need 10 at the end or no?
Yeah. At the end, but you're fine. You're fine. You got great stuff.
Anybody have questions? Yeah.
What would you say to the person putting out? I'm not wired toward detail like I would like to be. So what advice would you give me to just kind of really hone in so I can see things that I see?
That's great. So I would cut that from your language first. I would like force yourself to never say I'm not good with details. That's hard advice, but I would like, Jason, I would say again, you are good at details. It's opening your eyes to be able to see what other people can't see. So often you just haven't trained yourself, I think, to be able to see it. So Pastor preached, was it this weekend, last weekend, about Elisha, right? That he often saw what other people did not see. I don't think it's something that we can't all acquire, right? But we can train ourselves to be able to sense things, perceive things. But I think it's striking that from our like thoughts. We're like, man, I'm not gonna tell. So for you, I think it's maybe you have someone walk you around and show you the things the first time. So even in a room. So like if I'm in this room right now, if I wanted to like look around and pick out things, right? Like there's empty seats in the room, there's a light out up there. Like I haven't always been good at just seeing that immediately, but I've trained myself to be aware of my environment. So I think it's shifting your awareness. And this doesn't mean though what you can't do. Remember, if you're thinking like a CP, like you can't just walk in and always just be drowning in all the surroundings, but it's getting to the place where it's so second nature, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm walking through, hey guys, can we take care of that? Oh, I saw that. Not where it like takes all of your energy. But I think it's just a training thing. So even like on the weekend, Jason, it's like asking the ACP, hey, can you walk me through and show me like everything that may be shifting or adjusting, and then you start to learn it. Does that make sense? Because I think you are good at the details. It's just like shifting your perspective a little bit. What else? Any other questions?
If we're still considered to the volunteers as anyone was seen, and we want to honor them, they've been there a while, and we see something that's not in line with what you told us here today, how would you suggest we approach feedback?
That's great. I think when you are new, it's more of an advantage actually, because then you can really just ask. And you don't want to be like sneaky manipulative about it. And be like, so is it really supposed to look like if you know the answer, I think you could say, hey, I totally know, I'm new here, so I'm still learning everything. I thought that I was supposed to do that. Like you can ask very innocently, but you also have to guard it, because if it's something that's blatantly wrong, people will feel like you're patronizing them. You know, like if something's obviously out of place, you don't want to ask it in that way. I think this is where you have to use your good like EQ and say, deem the relationship. So it's like you just met them, but you guys connected. I think you could say, hey, so I know I'm new, we're just learning all this, but I found out that, hey, this is why we do this because of blah, 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 blah. And then give the reason. If you want to be safe though, I think you can let like even the ACP know that you saw it and even be a part of that conversation too. Does that help? But I think actually being new is helpful because you can sort of approach it a little bit softer than once you've been there for a few years, you know, for sure. Yeah, anything else?
Is the host team trained to, if they brought a first-time guest in to follow up with them and have the experience?
Yeah, so for the host team, let me tell you about our follow-up. I'm glad you mentioned that because I think I see it on here. If I'm here for the first time, right, after my visit, they'll be followed up with a VIP call. Now, I say this is going to vary campus to campus. And so at Valentine, we use Slide Broadcast, which is basically like we record a voicemail that then goes to every single first-time guest. And it's a voicemail from JJ. So essentially how it works is their phone doesn't ring, it goes straight to their voicemail. And it's from the church office, and it's JJ saying, hey, so glad that you joined us this weekend. If we can help you in any way, stop by the area, right? This is not the most ideal situation. So remember I was saying, think like you're the campus pastor. So at Valentine, we have 300 VIPs about per weekend. We got to the volume where having a VIP call team like make all those calls, the level of excellence and the feasibility of it was changing. So we made that sacrifice to use Slide Broadcast, but with the knowledge that it is a sacrifice. Yeah. So ideally, having that individual phone call is what you want. I say that because, so if tomorrow, I launched a campus wherever, and I went out, please believe I'm a campus pastor, I'm calling those VIPs, right? When I have 40 VIPs, I'm gonna sit down and call every single one of them. Now you could argue, so are we losing the spirit, right? If we would do that for one location but not for Valentine. I don't think so, but I think it's monitoring it. So I think it's managing that tension of, like I talked about the VIP lot, making sure that you're not losing the things that are the key principles, but making a decision for your campus. Yeah. So like we use that in order to follow up with them. But in another season, we might completely shift and go back to VIP calls for a season. But for right now, they do get that individual message that says thank you for coming on that kind of thing. Yeah, does that help?
Yeah, I was more wondering, so the person who hosted that experience, do they seek them out after that same person?
Yeah, so that's ideal. I think you mentioned that, Jason, your first time. So like the host team is instructed, when you meet someone, like what's best is if they say, hey, Emily, help me out here after the event. My name is Danny, like come look for me afterwards. That's ideal. Yeah. Now, depending on volume, again, that may not always, like about how much that may not happen, but again, we don't settle for that. Like, that's the goal always, is to get to that, for sure.
How do you navigate a conversation with a volunteer who knows the Wi-Fi or something, but then it's like, yeah, I know, and they don't seem to like feel the vibe.
Yeah. I think then I would probably dig deeper in the task. And so I think in that situation, like it becomes far less about accomplishing something through them, but then figuring out how do you really dig down to what they're walking through. Because it probably has nothing to do with their volunteer role, even something that's going on in their life. Because often I think like, hey, let's just give them more vision. Like they probably missed the vision. Let me layer them with more. Oh, this is why I think that's great. Then figuring out like using your sense to say, do you need?
No, I gotta go. Just don't let them get out of here without some prayer.
Okay, I can finish right now if you want to talk to them for 5.
No, I actually.
I think then it's figuring out like sometimes when I'm guilty of this, I'm like, well, I'll just come at them with brute enthusiasm, and sometimes that doesn't work. It's like figuring out, hey, or maybe they need a season. I mean, it sounds like a cop-out, but sometimes with those things, it often means like maybe they've been serving for 6 years and they've never taken a break, and they just need like an off-ramp to take a season of rest. That's kind of dangerous ground. You don't want to assume that's it, but I think then it's a separate conversation. Does that answer your question? Anything else?
Sorry, could you clarify what is it?
Yes, yep. So an SOP is a standard operating procedure. It's basically a way to document things that happen in an area. I mentioned this is a weakness of ours right now is like we have an older welcome team and host team one that came, John Broom. Does anybody know John Broom? He's an awesome dude. He essentially used to maintain a lot of our documentation like that. His role has shifted. So right now it's on the responsibility of the campuses to create these SOPs. We have a couple right now that we're working at Valentine. I would challenge you guys to, on your campuses, if you see something like that, maybe that there's a lack or a need, I would like step up and say, hey, I want to do this for my campus. Like, I want to help with that. But the SOPs are important things. Sorry to answer your actual question. They basically keep things standardized across like different campuses or across the location. Yeah.
Okay, so first time is there, consider creating a
Yeah.
So just to kind of get the feel of that person throughout the entire thing, you're supposed to go from the parking lot to a host.
Yeah.
From the host to the greeter.
Yep, essentially, because they're like walking in. Yeah.
Greeter/usher.
Yeah. Right. So if I'm a VIP, I'll walk through it real quick. So if I get out of the car, right, as soon as I pull into the VIP lot, the VIP volunteers are like stationed around there. And like right now at Valentine, we have radios. So parking will actually radio to them and say, hey, we've got a red Honda Accord coming down there, VIP. Now, mind you, I think like 40%, 30-40% of people actually put their flashers on. So most VIPs are getting by us, like from the parking lot. So we make sure there's VIP people everywhere too, or host team members everywhere. So yeah, I get out, the host team members talking to me, hey, so glad you're here, what brought you here today? Hey, one thing actually I forgot to mention to you guys, we no longer say, is it your first time? You all know that?
Yeah, right.
In the past, that was like a big thing. Host team would always be like, is it your first time? Is it your first time? Is it your, because they're trying to figure out, obviously, right? People that are here for the first time. But what was happening is we realized that was sort of old methodology, because what was happening is, like John came to me a couple weeks ago, somebody had said to him, is this your first time? And it's like, well, crap. But imagine people that, again, are coming in, especially at a big campus, there's nobody noticed me. I've been here 20 times, so that kind of thing. So yes, but they get out, we're talking to them. The thing that we say instead is like, hey, how long have you been coming here for? Like, that's a great way to open up the conversation. They would walk, if they're there for the first time, they would want to walk them to the line if we're in line still. But they still could like show them where the bathroom is, talk to them about the auditorium. They give them the brochure with the CD in it. And this is where it's up to how awesome the volunteer is, because really, it's great if they can build a relationship.
That's where they get the brochure with the CD in it?
Yep, when they walk up, yeah. Have you guys not been through the VIP process ever before? I don't mean that in a negative way, I'm just like, it varies.
We came as VIPs, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're just kind of trying to see like what, you know, we're talking about, you know, the standardizing, you know, like and stuff, and kind of just to see what I think a lot of us, you know, we don't know what the expectation is, and so we're just kind of like yeah, we're willing to try to put systems in place, but what's our target, like, what are we trying to get at?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm just trying to say, okay, so what is a VIP, standard look like?
Yep, and I would make sure, y'all, this is a great assignment too, when you shadow, get with the coordinator of these areas, because the coordinator at each campus is gonna know like the standard process for sure. Now, if you spend time with them
But for that
volunteer,
campus, because like you just said, they go welcome CD up front, and that's like something
Yeah.
we're doing way to that.
you guys do it in the back.
Wait.
Right?
Like when it's over.
Really?
The experience is over and they're laying on the welcome area.
Does anybody else do that? I've never heard of that. Maybe they made a decision for their campus. I don't know. The goal is that, yeah, you give them the VIP brochure up front. Here's the reason why, is because then when I'm walking around with that brochure, everybody can like visibly see that. But I'm glad you bring this up though, and that's part of why like I did a rotation at different campuses too, and you get to see those inconsistencies. And this is where you could bring that up at Concord and say, hey, like today I heard that most campuses do this. Is that true? And approach that conversation. I've never heard of that being the end, but yeah.
Not I might have a map, but I don't
Some
think I have
people,
it.
no, some people will catch, but they have the VIP things on the tables as well.
Yeah.
So some people, they get it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
And they may miss people sometimes. This is where like, so for us, what we try to do is keep track of how many VIP brochures we give out versus how many we have, just to try to see like, are we missing people? So this is where y'all like gotta think of ways at your campus to how to dig in and say, how are we tracking that? Maybe you start watching volunteers. It would be great to watch what they're actually doing. But the goal would be that as a host team, I'm walking around with a group of brochures and yeah, I give it to them and they come up for sure. Yeah, and don't stress or freak out if something is a little different at your campus. I think a lot of this is like at a 2K2, if y'all haven't done it, you'll have this task where you have to go to another location. Have you done that yet? Not yet, okay. So one of the assignments you guys will get is that you'll actually go shop a location and like investigate what they're actually doing. You'll put your name in the thing and all that. So that will help with some of this. So please don't freak out if like this feels like a lot of details. Part of why I didn't want to go through all of the things, but if y'all don't know them though, I want you to know them for sure. Does that help with that process? Okay. Anything else? Y'all okay for 3 minutes? Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Something pressing like that that you feel like, man, I needed to know this and I didn't know it today.
Okay, so for coordinators and like leaders of the team.
Yep.
Like Angela, who does. But so she's pointing to her team, and then where is she being poured into or saying or being mentored or help like, hey, we should do this, we should do this. Where is that coming
Great question. So you have structure at the campus. You have directors. So not every location has directors. Raise your hand if you know. Do you have directors at your location? Okay, so you have. We don't right now at Valentine. Essentially what you have staff level, you have directors, then you have coordinators, leaders, and volunteers. Does everybody already know about that?
Yeah.
Mostly, okay. If not, if you need, like, come talk to me. So basically, directors oversee coordinators. So you asked about Angela. She's a coordinator. So because we don't have directors, it's essentially me. I'm who's investing and like in relationship with her. And so we oversee coordinators as staff. If you have directors, it would be a director oversees the coordinators. And the coordinator invests in the leaders, and the leader invests in the volunteers. Does that make sense? So Angela specifically would be a staff coordinator. Yeah.
Is that y'all's layers of leaders at the Valentine location?
Yep, so for our whole church, so basically, this is how we care for volunteers essentially at the campus.
Right.
So you would have staff, and so like for us, our staff structure is we have a campus pastor, 2 associate campus pastors, we have a guest experience director, and then we have like e-groups, all that. So for volunteer level though, we have staff who invest in coordinators, and the coordinators invest in the leaders and leaders and volunteers.
Yeah. Just because right now at Gaston, we actually have like, it would be staff, a director, and then coordinators. And then we have another layer, which would team, well, no, it's for us, it's developer, and then, I don't know, it's just, there's too many different, there's like a bunch of different layers. And so right now we're in the conversation of like, so I guess just, I was curious, like, is that how many layers you guys have?
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah, if you guys have a question, this was part of the intention why I wanted questions from everyone, so I would know like what things you're thinking about or what you do and don't know. If you have things now that you feel like, hey, we didn't get to talk about today, email it to me and I can answer it for you. Or if it's a lot, we can John can answer it or we can talk again. But things like that, yeah, that will vary campus to campus structure wise for sure. Yeah. Anything else before we go? One last question.
It's probably my time a little bit stupid, but how do you handle waiting the conversation bits towards the end of the conversation? It's just starting to feel awkward. The person is going to stop talking to you if you're I don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
If you're at the welcome team or host team?
Yeah, or just for example, if you say that it's not, it's a daily job to kind of make people feel like they're lost. For example, if I notice someone who's just kind of walking on and I want to go out and start speaking to them individually, it just feels like they don't have anywhere else to go, but
right.
The conversation's kind of ended, how do you kind of handle that without being rude and not being okay, well, thanks for talking to me, but now I don't have anything else to say.
That's great. Probably a great way to practical thing is if other people around too, people get that sense and maybe they don't leave for too long, people waiting to talk to you or whatever. But I think you don't have to make it awkward. I think you could just say, hey, I'm so glad you came today, really great having you, and just kind of wrap it up. I don't think you have to feel there has to be a good, I don't know the word, wrap up to it if you're not in yeah, that's probably not a great answer for you, but I don't know. What do you guys say about that?
See you next Sunday.
Yes, see you next week. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's for the worship experience, I try to just say, hey, sometime we have the worship experience, and I would love to just, see y'all, see your presentation or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great way. And if it's after, just saying, hey, can't we see next week?
One thing that when we're dusting with the lot, you see, this cashier, he would probably be volunteering, he would come over, literally just interrupt and be hey, why don't you see somebody? And so apparently somebody wanted to dust the talk, and we would empower you with conversation. Right?
For sure. All right, guys. Seriously, if you have other questions, email me. I'm going to pray for us. We'll head out. Jesus, I thank you that we will forever be the person in with you, that we would never get to the place where we think too highly of ourselves, that we are no longer desperately dying to encounter you, God. And so may you just help us to experience that every weekend at our campus, that when we walk into the building and our feet hit the floor, God, that we would remember that we operate out of that overflow of love and gratefulness for what you've done in our life. And so, Lord, help us just to see past the systems, God. There's lots of details to this, and Lord, I know that we can carry out the process, but God, can we really love your people like we're called to do? And so help us to do that. God, I pray for everyone in this group, Lord, that they would know that they are enough, just as they are now, God. That they don't need to strive or be more, but that, God, we are orchestrating and ordaining every step of their path, even in this program, Lord. But God, I pray that you continue to reveal to them the ways that you want to grow them, God. Not what they think they need or what they think people want from them, but what you desire of them, God. We're grateful that we get to do this together and care for your people, God. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.